Bets show here, the Field of 68's Best Bets. This is the three-man weave. We're here. We're presented, as always, by BetRivers. Guys, we have been in person before for Best Bets, but it was when we were in a Vegas hotel room and we were still on different cameras. This is the first time we've had a real panel set up.
We have like props.
Matt, Kai.
Backdrop.
Yep.
Look how nice these mics are. These are awesome. I need to... Sure is the brand name of these mics. These are awesome. I'm excited to be here in New Orleans, guys. Let's talk hoops.
Kai, you finally made it. Kai had some travel delays, a whole day, but he's here. He's in town.
Man.
Matt is petting the bobblehead as you
his
can
king,
possibly see.
his king rat.
I have the king in the palm of my hand right here. It's Coach K.
Fellas, we are down to 3 more games in the college basketball season. Apologies to the NIT title game that is tonight. There's 3 more games.
No one cares.
2 of them will be on Saturday, Matthew, and one of them involves your Blue Devils. That's correct. But we're going chronological. I'm sorry. We're going chronological. Kai, we're going to kick it off with the two logos in front of you. Kansas Villanova, 5:09 Central tip here in New Orleans.
Yes.
Wow, precise.
We got Matt, of course. Come on. Kansas, a 4.5-point favorite at our show sponsor, BetRivers.
That's right.
Total, I believe, is, I don't have the live total. I believe is 133.5.
Good show prep.
We're gonna get on that though. Kai, we have obviously 2 blue bloods here.
Yes.
2 great programs, got through their regions. Very difficult run for Villanova. I would say a little less so for Kansas.
Oh, yeah. And we've talked about the KU's draw this entire time. It's the easiest draw of all the 1 seeds in the tournament, Jim. And it's true, and it turned out to be.
I maintain that the top 5 seeds from Villanova's region I would have picked to the Final Four.
Yes.
In their region.
Absolutely. Yeah. Houston, Arizona. I mean, that was a gauntlet of a region. Now you have Kansas. Now, the spread is 4.5. Might seem kind of high, but the reason is Justin Moore, Achilles tear, obviously. In my opinion, guys, though, they adjusted too much. I still like Villanova here. In fact, it's my best bet. One point I'm going to
early best bet.
We can don't ruin the hair.
Not the hair.
We can go into details on the matchup points. I'm sure Matt and Jim are going to hit a bunch here. But I want to say something about something that I noticed in the Miami game versus Kansas that Matt and I were there for. David McCormick was open in the post maybe every single possession in the first half. Kansas ignored him. They did not get the ball to their big guy. Now, it was a point of emphasis for Bill Self in the second half, and his team certainly figured it out. But I can see Villanova taking McCormick completely out of this game, making Kansas guards panic a little bit, getting their own shot, worried about their own scoring. And all of a sudden, Villanova's hanging in, winning the game most of the game, and ended up being a 1 or 2 point possession ball game. And I like Villanova here at plus 4.5. I need to hang around. Jay Wright also, better coach.
V's up. I'm with Nova as well. I think, more things huge.
I thought that was all you were going to give us.
No, done, and that's all I have, Jim.
I need more from you here. I need more.
No, the more things huge. We talked about it. His impact on both sides is substantial. But, Jim, this is the Brian Antoine coming out party that we've been waiting for 5 years now? 10 years maybe? We didn't follow him as he was a youngster in the grassroots circuit.
Please.
He'll get some big minutes in this game. I think he has to respond. But just the collective uprising from the others of Nova, your Slaters, your Dixons, and, of course,
Samuel's the
Mr.
most
outstanding player who I think is the most valuable
Yeah.
player on this team right now.
Second or third favorite to win most outstanding player, I believe.
Third, behind Bankero and Ochai Agbaji.
Which is strange, right?
We'll get to player props. Actually, we can talk about it right now if you want to. But, the fact that Samuels is actually ranked higher than Gillespie is a sort of an off.
It's a little surprising.
Odd there.
Matt, I want to hit the Justin Moore thing because you mentioned it. It's obviously a massive storyline for this game. We talked about some of the on-off numbers for Justin Moore are not as stark as we expected.
No.
But the one thing I want to say is I think it matters a lot less in a game that he is physically not playing.
Yep.
Like in most games, okay, they know they still have him on the bench. They can go to him. It changes how you approach like pace and your efficiency. This game, it means a little bit less.
Right.
I think Pivot Analysis had him where they play faster with him off the floor.
Right.
And I'm anti that. I think it's going to be such a slow game. I think Villanova wants to keep this under 60 possessions if they can, both for fatigue and foul trouble regions.
Yep.
Like you want this to be minimal to where you can't let the talent gap that I think Kansas has a little bit. You don't want that to play out. Yeah. And again, foul trouble could be huge for somebody, especially like Dixon, going against McCormick in the post. Samuels.
Yep.
We saw Miami lose Miller early in the first half and lose Wardenberg early in the second half to foul trouble. So I think Villanova is going to be very focused on that.
And actually, I will hitch on to that point, Jim, because you mentioned Wardenberg. Yeah, when he went out, that was a huge issue. And in fact, Larinaga in the press conference said how important Wardenberg was. I believe they were only -3 with Wardenberg on the floor against Kansas.
Yeah.
And they lost by about 20 points. But
They lost by 26.
26. And what Wardenberg did, which killed Kansas, was he pulled McCormick away from the rim. Or rather, Jalen Wilson was guarding him, but he spaced Kansas out on that end. And that's something Villanova can absolutely do with Eric Dixon and with Jermaine Samuels playing the 5. If he plays the 5, McCormick's in trouble on the defensive end. He cannot guard any of the other players. You can't just hide him on a Jordan Miller, which is what they did against Miami.
But that's where Moore's injury comes in.
Right.
The Samuels at the 5 lineup is a little bit less potent with Archie Diacono or Antoine occupying the 5th spot.
And you don't want Archie Diacono playing.
Also, the question I saw somebody pose this was, like, I know Eric Dixon is shooting over 50% from 3, but are you comfortable with giving that up if you're Kansas rather than –
Absolutely.
I would rather have McCormick sort of doubling on Colin Gillespie post-ups against DeJuan Harris.
Yes.
That scares me more than – like, Dixon's only made, I think, 17 threes all year. It's a very low-volume 50%.
I'll be honest. I wonder what his over/under 3-point attempt prop would be in this game. I bet he shoots like 3 or 4 because you know it's going to be like the spotlight is on that matchup. And you're right. The fact that Self tried to invert having McCormick guard Miller and Wilson guard Wardenberg. He was very afraid of that dynamic. He can't really avoid it here.
No.
I mean, again, the threat of Dixon shooting is not near what Wardenberg is. But I think Dixon can shoot it, and McCormick's going to lethargically close out. He makes the first 2. I think it kind of changes the whole mindset of how
Dixon hit
defense.
2 massive threes late against Ohio State. So that's, I guess, part of it. The best player props we have are the ones where we back into them. Where we're like, we talk about the game and we're like, oh, I guess this is a good prop. I think that's kind of the way to approach it. Kai, your best bet was Villanova plus 4.5.
It's Villanova plus 4.5. Hey, if you can find 5 at BetRivers, take it, but 4.5 would you just fine.
Matt, this is where Matt endorses buying a
Do not buy the hook. Don't buy the hook.
Riding hook.
Buy the hook. Always buy the hook.
Kai, my best bet.
Yes.
It's actually a 2. It's a 2 for best bet.
A Villanova best bet.
It's not Villanova itself, but it is the first half under 62 or 61.5 is fine with me. And the full game under 133, anything 132 or below or above is fine with me. I think this game is a crawl. I think Villanova needs it to be that way. They're going to score a little less efficiently late in the shot clock because of not having Justin Moore. So between possessions and a little bit of efficiency, the play is in the favor of Nova. I think that's going to be a very good thing for the under. I lean your way on the side, too, as well, Kai.
Elite 8 unders, they were...
Sweet 16 and Elite 8 were 11-1.
11-1 unders. So, but historically, Matt, and you had some data on this, Final Four hasn't quite been that way. It's been more skewing over, correct?
The Final Four skews over, the championship game skews under. Again, small sample size theater. Don't read into it. But I think this game will – I think the Duke-UNC game will be a points bonanza. That's a whole different type of animal. But
so let me ask a question kind of as a bridge to that. Do you care about the venue? When you are handicapping this game, do you care about it being in a football stadium?
Yeah,
I think I saw Stuckey from the Action Network tweet that the games in the last Final Four at the Superdome, all 3 games went under.
Yeah.
But the previous one, all 3 games went over. So I think it might not be as big of a deal as some people are making it to be.
Yeah, I agree. I think more we've been playing in football stadiums for how long now for the Final Four? So I think I don't say kids are used to it because how many kids have played in multiple Final Fours? I think there's a dynamic.
Colin Gillespie's going to be real comfortable.
Yeah, he's like, no, just raining 3. He'll be post up this game.
I think it's a huge deal. Actually,
you do? Okay.
I really do.
I think for us it is, but for these, I don't know.
You get into the Superdome, which we haven't quite been in there yet, but
trust me, we'll be on the case.
Minnesota's place was enormous, and we saw firsthand at the United Center even those baskets in that venue. It's a whole different ball game than your college campus. It really is, and maybe it is easier transferring from a United Center to a Superdome versus a campus site to the Superdome. But still, first half, I think it would matter a whole lot. So I do lean towards your way, Jim.
Yeah, great. Yeah. And my anecdotal comparison is my high school team played at the Bradley Center where the Bucks play.
There you go. Huge.
And it messed with my perception a little bit. I mean, you
should.
figure it out, but you're like, okay, this is different. There's not a wall right behind there. I'm not playing in a 600-person gym.
Right.
But, okay, so Matt, do you have any leans you want to give on
Final,
that game?
I just endorse of the under and endorse Nova. The transition D is a big thing, too, for Nova. I think it's where Kansas is best, is in transition. Their half-court can get a little stagnant.
Yep.
But when you get Agbaji and Wilson full, freight trains on the break, that's a tough tough nut to crack.
Yes.
But Nova's going to defend that. That's what
Right.
they've done all
I will
Houston
reiterate.
second half, they said, no, you're not going to run against them.
Villanova's their switchability makes them a great transition
Yeah.
defense because they don't care who they're near. There's not
Yeah,
cross
get the
matching.
guy closest to you. Right.
And then they also don't turn the ball over, which fuels transition breaks. That's
Yeah,
how
no blind
Miami
ball
got that
turnover is huge,
big
right.
run in the second half against, or Kansas got the big run
Kansas,
against
that's
Miami.
right. Yep.
Because
Yep.
they started giving the ball away. All right, second game. Obviously, Matt has not given a best bet yet. Hint, it's going to be in this second game.
Oh, can you guess,
We
Jim,
have
what it is?
North Carolina, we have Duke, the storied rivalry. There's all the narratives behind this, but guys, we are best bets. We're handicapping. We are not narrative based. We are matchup or number, something else in that department.
Yeah.
So Matt, I'm going to go to you first. Maybe your best bet from this game is because of a narrative.
It might
but
be. It kind of is narrative.
We've got
I'll
Duke,
be honest, it is a
Duke
little
minus
narrative
4, a total of 151.
Yep.
I'm going to give you free reign. What direction do you want to go in with this game?
My best bet is Duke minus 4, but I like the over a lot too. I'm on both, so we'll talk about both components. Do I have to put it on? Put my
If you would like to. It depends on how you feel about your hair.
I've chosen. I was recruited by Duke out of high school, by the way, but I decided to chase a better business degree
chemistry.
opportunity in Indiana.
For science.
To me, this game comes down to individual matchups. Like, I think sometimes people overanalyze the personnel 1v1, point guard versus point guard. But I think in this game, where especially with Coach K
The old Dr. Jack Ramsey of point
Exactly,
guard versus
yes,
point guard,
right,
edge,
yeah.
team 1. Shooting guard versus shooting guard, edge, team 2.
that holds in this game because that's how Duke plays offense. They like to look for isolation matchups, and UNC's they're not gonna throw anything super tricky schematically at Duke. So Duke will go at the matchups they want to exploit. And with the emergence of Jeremy Roach, I think they have an edge at almost every position on the floor, save the leaky black, presumably going to guard Paolo Banchero.
Is he?
And
But
that's
then
not
who do
an
you
edge.
Put, who do you put Manic on?
That's
He's not guarding Wendell
The
Moore.
point is UNC has issues, right? I think UNC has
Whoever-
to sort out.
whoever
They
le-
have to pick their poison.
Leaky can only guard one person.
Correct.
Is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Also,
And-
I don't think
and by the way,
Leaky
Moore
can
was
guard
not good.
Banchero, by the way.
He guarded him very well in the second half of the first game. He did. Leaky has a good makeup to guard Banchero. I don't think Banchero is like invincible. I think he is
Very good player.
he's
if
a
he-
mismatch nightmare for most teams. But Leaky Black's an all-world
If
defender.
Banchero
right now.
doesn't decide I'm going to play bully ball, then Leaky can guard him.
Right. That's a good
It's
point.
just the physicality. I think is the one area where he probably has an edge.
And Duke hasn't always been consistent in getting Banchero to those spots. Like sometimes he tends to drift on the perimeter and he turns into like a swing guard.
But about 9 minutes left in the Arkansas game,
Light bulb play.
they just
Yes.
fed him
Yep.
on the block, and it was unstoppable.
Right. And
but
Duke's
yeah,
offense
I
was
loved it.
unstoppable against Texas Tech,
Loved
which
it.
we talked about in the second half. What did they shoot second half?
I
Literally
for
70%?
the final 8.5 minutes. It was 100%.
100%?
I'm not
Scored
exaggerating.
every possession.
There's no hyperbole. They shot 100%.
And-
Well,
and
they had
Matt-
a couple turnovers, but
Matt does
Oh,
have that
that's right,
stat from Bart Torvik. We're going to whip out our Torviks here to annoy
Shouts to
T.O., Mr. T.O.
sorry, Coach T.O.
Fifth best defense in the country
February 17th.
since February 17th, UNC. Okay, maybe that's true, but my angle for this game, and I like Duke as well, Matt, their guards, UNC's guards are too erratic for me. And Caleb Love is
Wow.
a St. Louis guy, Matt,
Shout star at hometown.
represent, but he's erratic. He takes bad shots. So does R.J. Davis. And yeah, when they make them, they're awesome. They are unbeatable since March 1st. Best team in the
Mike.
country for Bart Torvik. But goodbye, MOD. You're the man.
Mike O'Donnell leaving
Mike
the show.
O'Donnell.
That's fine.
Friend of
He's
the
such
show.
a
Apparently,
good
we're
guy.
very boring. But
Such a good guy.
We're running out of
But-
our right now.
They're
I'm just messing with you.
they're too erratic to win a game like this, in my opinion, and a national championship. I know Love really gets up for these Duke games,
He's
but
playing at max confidence right now.
I-
He is, though. That's my word
I
as a Duke
just
fan.
don't think it's sustainable. And I'll take Duke's edge and talent by that much, and I'll take their ability to bang on the boards with UNC, which a lot of teams can't do. I like Duke. -4.
Yeah, the glass battle I think is a great matchup point to mention.
Yeah.
The first game where Duke blew out UNC, they won the
Dominated.
rebounding battle 40-24. In the second game, 37-34 UNC.
Right.
And I mentioned on our other show that part of that's because Duke finally missed a couple shots.
Yeah,
and
that
there's more
helps.
defensive rebounds available
Yep.
for North Carolina. But man, I buy a lot of the matchup angles here. And Matt, I said we weren't narrative based. There's a narrative here.
Yes, there is. There is a narrative.
So revenge is an angle, though. That's a narrative, but also a betting angle.
It is a
that
betting
something
angle.
you're looking at here, where they're like,
The rubber match.
this young team is very annoyed at what UNC did to Coach K's final home game?
Yes, and I think it's
yes,
T.O.
yes,
and
yes.
and Mr. Childers talked about this on the show, I think 2 nights ago, how there's actually less pressure for this game relative to the Duke UNC game at home.
I actually agree with that.
Which
is wild.
It sounds like lunacy at first, but let that marinate for a second. Like, it's the last home game at Cameron. It's a who's who of Duke alumni and superstars. Everyone who's come across the glorious golden path of Coach K is at that game. Last regular season game, and then you just lay an egg. Now you have that in your rear view. It's okay, we got this thing out of the way. Now it's like both teams lose, they go home. So obviously there's pressure on both teams to win this game.
The other thing is
it kind of like levels itself out.
We knew when Coach K's last home game was the day he announced his retirement.
Yes.
Right?
That day was circled. UNC
build
was
up,
like,
build up.
We didn't know that they would meet in the Final Four until 4 days ago.
Yeah.
So there just hasn't been the same amount of time to build up what this matchup is.
Can I ask something?
Yes.
Is this the best Final Four matchup of all time?
Yes. Yes.
Is it?
I mean, it was really good.
Is it, Dagan?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes,
I mean,
it is.
The one I go back to is the year
Scorching
the
hot
first
take.
year that all 4 1 seeds made it was the
Yes.
Kansas, Memphis,
Awesome
UCLA,
Yeah.
North Carolina.
Oh, is that 08?
I can't remember the year. I think
12.
this is the year Kansas won, right?
Oh, wait,
09?
right?
Yeah, Chalmers.
09?
The Chalmers
One
shot
of
against
those.
Heroes.
Yeah.
Over Memphis?
Which was
Yeah.
it was awesome to have
Oh, yeah.
hey, the teams we kind of thought were the 4 best teams all year. But these are the 4 best teams right now.
They are.
And it's
They
pretty
are.
sweet to have
Sorry, Houston.
multiple Blue Bloods. Obviously, Matt is on board the Blue Devils. I would imagine we're going to have another best bet show for the title game. I would imagine,
Maybe.
Dagan, that's gonna
hey,
be
listen,
requested.
I'm whatever the boss says behind you.
Okay.
So
Oh.
I'm
We're
sure.
going to have one more best bet show for the title game, correct?
There
Yes,
you go.
great.
There's your answer.
Fantastic.
Boss confirms.
Yep. Sunday? Okay. well,
Sunday.
all
On the
right, perfect.
Sabbath.
We
How
will
holy.
be there on the Sabbath. But before we go, let's quick recap best bets,
Yep.
and then we got to tell the people to get down to Gordon Biersch here in New Orleans.
Gordon Biersch.
On Poydras Street. It is very accessible to anybody that's staying downtown. There's going to be a show tonight from 6 to 8. Trent Frazier is here right
Trent
now.
Frazier.
Illinois fans.
Nice ball player.
Get down here,
Nice
talk
ball
to him
player.
about the shoulder brace, talk to him about his unreal career. We'll get it all in there. But yeah, so that's tonight, 6 to 8. They'll be live again.
Yep.
Gordon Biersch here in New Orleans.
Yep.
Best bets, Kai. Let them know where you're at.
Best bet. The Villanova Wildcats, plus 4.5, keeping it close, maybe winning the game.
He
against
would wear the
Kansas.
hat if he wasn't totally
My
terrified.
hair
of
is
that
fresh,
mascara.
My hair's
coiffed. I
pristine,
need
too.
it.
I'm
I
worried
need
about
to
my
stay like this, guys, for tonight.
So,
We have a lot of things
Villanova
to do.
plus 4.5.
That's right.
Matthew, you have
Duke -4.
Duke -4. I am on Villanova. First half under 62 and full game under 133. Again, I think it's a slog. Start to finish, we're all about it. Matthew, again, there's our lovely little Coach K doll. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you again, like we said, on Sunday. We'll get a timeout at some point. We got to figure out the schedule behind the scenes.
Better than today.
We will be back, I would assume, back here recording, right? Yes,
Oh, yeah.
fantastic. We'll be live in person again. It's great to be with the Weave.
I know.
Again, New Orleans,
So
if you
good.
are here, come down to Gordon Biersch either today, tonight, 6 to 8 when they're live, or anytime when they're recording in the next couple of days over the weekend. Would love to see you. Say hi to Mr. Douster. Come dunk on Jeff Goodman. He's
Throw tomatoes
certainly
at us,
available.
the whole 9 yards. Yeah.
So we will see you all next time, Sunday. Good luck with your best bets on